What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Snowstorm Studios. It's Billy here, as always. And today, guys, we're going to be doing the part 2 video to the part 1 pre-PAX video I made. I made that last Friday, talking about me going to PAX, going to be trying out some Elder Scrolls, seeing how the Summerset DLC is. And today, I'm actually here to tell you guys what I learned and then what I missed on Saturday. I watched the live stream that they did at PAX East. I wasn't able to go on Saturday, which stunk, but I'll let you guys know what they talked about there, kind of give a brief summary. I'm going to go as quick as I can here, guys. I actually have a checklist sitting right next to me. So if you see me kind of glaring over, I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything. But yeah, with that, let's get into it, guys. So first things we're going to go over are things I experienced when I went to PAX East on Sunday. So a little, I guess, pre-story, or letting you guys know what the Elder Scrolls atmosphere was at PAX East. There was really nothing at all for ESO. There was a little side booth in the PlayStation 4 section with Summerset to play around in. So that was all I got to see. I got to talk to a couple of the devs, and I did learn some interesting stuff, but nothing that was crazy. But let me tell you guys what I learned. So I got to play around with the Sigil Order skill line, and that skill line, guys, is going to be more of a toolbox skill line. And what I mean by that is no class is going to use more than 2 of these skills on their skill bar. These are buffs, AoEs, and yeah, buffs and AoEs. Those are the 2 things. And I really didn't see any extreme damage attacks, but they were really there were moves that were more tactical than they were damage based. So obviously, guys, I got to play around with the stop time move or pause or whatever they're calling it, and it's a big AoE stun. And the interesting thing I learned about it was, so it's an AoE stun, and then if whatever's trapped in it doesn't leave after, it actually takes an additional damage. So that's really interesting, and it's going to definitely be more of a PvP move than a PvE move. I could see PvE, maybe tanks using it instead of the move on the dragon, in the Dragon Knight skill line, the one, the clench or the claw move that like kind of traps. So I could see tanks maybe using that if they're a Templar, Sork, Warden, or Nightblade. And then also I got to learn talking to the devs, guys, that all the lore lines up with the canon of the game, and that's something that I didn't really know. I'd hoped it did, because it would make the story feel much more immersive, and you'd feel way more important knowing that you were part of the canon story of Elder Scrolls Online. So because of that, the devs were able to tell me this was canon. Other than that, guys, oh well, actually no, a couple more things. So Summerset, guys, is huge. I'm going to go as far as say it's more than twice the size of the Morrowind land that was opened up to us, or Vardenfell. So that island of Vardenfell, multiply that by like 2.5 and you get Summerset. It is absolutely giant, and it's not something that shocked me very much because we aren't getting a new class or a new PvP game. So because of that, they had more time to focus on the map and the size and what's going on in the map. So that was something that was really, really cool to me. And then the other thing, guys, that I got to see, and it was interesting. I was running around Summerset a lot. There was not a lot of mobs out for me to fight. I was trying to just test out some skills, see how things were. I had limited time, but there weren't a lot of mobs out. And I actually talked to one of the devs, and I said, "Are there going to be more mobs when the game comes out?" And she kind of gave me like a funny look, and then she was like, "I think so." So I don't know what that means, but so basically, guys, all I learned when I went to PAX on Sunday was the new skill line's going to be much more of a toolboxy skill line, things people slot in and out for PvP and PvE. I think it's going to be more PvP based, in my opinion, but that's just me. And then Summerset is obviously huge, focuses on the story a lot more than PvP, and the lore lines up in the canon. So those are the big things I learned. But now let's get in, guys. There was a PAX stream video. The link is in the description below. You got to go to like the final fourth of the video, and that's where you can find the Elder Scrolls Online section of this stream, because they did ESO Legends, they did probably some Doom stuff. So I just watched the last bit. And so the first thing they talked about was the Sigil Order. Again, reaffirming story is canon. So they walked around the new Sigil Order land, I forget the island, the Artaeum Island. They walked around that. They said it looked different, feels different kind of magic, obviously trying to create something new for the game. Then we looked at the skill line a little bit. Again, time stop is a big AoE snare, so that was really interesting. And then we also looked at the ultimate rewind. So you cannot use rewind if you die. Rewind only affects you when you use the ultimate, and it takes about 200 ultimate to fill. So you have to get 200 ulti before you can use it again, which is actually a lot. So it's not something that you're going to be able to spam by any means. It does not get rid of buffs and debuffs. So if you get a snare on you or you get a poison, you cannot go back in time and then that'll go away. They said that is not a thing, and you cannot apply Power Surge and then go back in time and Power Surge will be gone and you can reapply it. Those are both things that you cannot do. Because what you could do is get a longer Power Surge if you did if you use Power Surge and you had 5 seconds left and then you use the ulti and then you go back 10 seconds, now you have 10 seconds instead of 5. So people could definitely find a way to break that. So instead they just said no buffs or debuffs get taken away or added when you use Time Stop. What Time Stop is for is pushing you back and giving you back resources. So what Rich did in the video was he ran right off the edge, used Time Stop, and he teleported all the way back up. You turn like a little orb and then go back up. It's really easy, non-taxing animation. Next, guys, let's talk about the new DLC, or not the new... Let's talk about the new trial, Cloud Rest. The big thing they were talking about with Cloud Rest, guys, is this is not going to be a dungeon where you can take 1 tank and a bunch of DPS and 1 healer. You're going to need 2 tanks, 2 healers, and the 8 DPS. That is the only way this is going to work, and it is group heavy, guys. Mechanics are what are important in this dungeon. It is not that the boss has all these one-shots and the boss is just super strong with a lot of health. It is going to be the mechanics are how you beat the boss. You have to do the mechanics, and that's going to be something that I'm super excited about. Just because, I mean, group play is what makes Elder Scrolls Online so much fun. So if they're focusing on group play, more power to them. I support that 100%. So guys, the way it's going to work is you're going to have 3 mini bosses and 1 final boss. And the story is that the Silk Riders used to live in this tower that you're in, that the trial is in, and its griffins have been turned into these monsters. Those are the 3 mini bosses, and then you fight the Silk Rider at the end. So the easy mode for this trial is you're going to fight each boss separately. So that means you can fight. You're going to go through each part of the trial, kill 1 boss with mechanics, kill another boss with mechanics, kill another boss, get to the final boss. What happens though is the story will not be a happy ending because you killed all of its griffins before you saved the Silk Rider. So the story will always be a sad ending. But it is the easy mode, and as they affirmed in the stream, those 3 mini bosses are all going to be tough as well, with very unique mechanics that the team has to adapt to. Now the hard mode is going to be going straight to the final boss and fighting everything, all 3 griffins. That'll give you the happy ending to the story, and you can get weapons you can get the perfected weapons from the trial. But the story will be happy. You save the griffins and the Silk Rider, so everyone survives. The other thing I wanted to say was there are going to be weapons coming out of this. I don't know what the exact stats or traits you get from the weapons are, or perks or skills, whatever we call them. But you can get the perfected ones from the hard mode and the normal ones from the easy mode. And the thing I want to talk about really quickly is I don't know if these weapons are going to be good, especially for a mag build, because the reason the Asylum Staff is so good is because it buffs our spammable Force Pulse or Force Shock. So the new stats are going to have to also buff a move in our toolbox that are used commonly by Magicka or Stamina builds. That is what's important. So with that being said, it'll be interesting to see if the weapons are actually used a lot or not. Hopefully they're really good, so we have incentive to go there. But at the same time, I love my Asylum Staff, and if you want to keep that best in slot, that's okay with me, I guess. I'm sort of impartial. Let me see if I missed anything here. So we got the easy mode. Oh, then there's also going to be a new skin, guys, and they made a comment. It's going to look a lot like the Vet Maw skin line. It's going to be purple instead of blue, though, but it's going to be glowy. I think you're going to have black skin, and the cracks are going to be purple instead. They wanted to do that again, so people were intended to do it. That's the last thing I had to say about the Cloud Rest. Now let's talk about jewelry crafting. In this stream, guys, it looked like there may be only 1 station for jewelry crafting in Summerset because they only want people who buy the DLC chapter to be able to jewelry craft. So they're going to keep them in a place that's locked out. And I don't know if this is going to be the only crafting or jewelry crafting center in ESO, but if that's the case, holy hell, it's going to be a lag fest. That is going to be a mess. So that'll be interesting. And I think it may actually turn people away from jewelry crafting because we won't be able to load in, especially once Summerset drops. I know a lot of people are going to be playing, and it's going to be very laggy, especially for consoles, obviously. Cannot deconstruct old jewelry, guys. It's actually hilarious because I almost released a video saying collect old jewelry to deconstruct and collect sky shards. Now all I'm going to say to you is collect sky shards. Jewelry, do not buy imported because you will not be able to deconstruct jewelry. We will be able to improve on jewelry once we research it. So when the new chapter comes out, I will be able to take my willpower jewelry and be able to upgrade it to gold. But I cannot deconstruct it and get the materials that help me craft everything. Just as something they wanted to let us know, I bought a ton of jewelry myself and made a complete fool of myself, so feel free to make fun of me in the comments below, because I must have spent 105K or something. It was bad. Anyone can get new materials, but only DLC or chapter buyers can craft it. So we can buy any crafted jewelry, anyone in the base game. So let's say I craft a piece of willpower jewelry, or let's say I craft a piece of Juliana's jewelry. That's a better one because you can't craft willpower. Juliana's jewelry. I can put it in a guild store, and someone who has not purchased the Summerset can buy it. But I'm the only one who can create it. So the economy won't get too messed up from this. It's just only the people who purchase Summerset will be able to make the money from them. Well, I guess not, because you could buy one and then I guess sell it again. That'll be interesting to see how that works, to be honest. Sorry, I'm reading here. They want to keep, oh yeah, so the last thing about jewelry crafting, and a lot of people have been saying this, is are trials still going to be important? Because I can just go run normal mod, get Blue Moon Dancer, and then level it up to gold. And they said yes. Rich Lambert said, people will not be able to craft gold jewelry or upgrade jewelry to gold for at least a week and a half after the DLC drops, because people are going to be researching. And they also said they want to keep trials important. They did not talk any more about that, but it wouldn't shock me if maybe they give another buff to trial sets, or they make it really, really hard to gold out trial jewelry. Because that's just taking away the point of doing trials if you can get the end trial gear just doing it on normal. So again, really interesting to see what happens there. Let me know in the comments, guys, what you think about that. Me personally, I want trials to stay important, and I hope that they do stay important, but they have to make it so it's worth doing them. You can't make someone go struggle through VMod, the progression group, if there's no point to it. Obviously, the skin won't be easy to get still, but other than that, there's not much else that keeps it important. So we'll see what happens. They also talked a little bit about PvP, guys. They're creating PvP dailies where you can get rewards, and the dailies will be killing certain kinds of players: Nightblades, Sorks, Dragon Knights. Jeez, I can't talk today. Pardon. So that'll be interesting. It'll be actually a way we can get daily quests, and it'll be a way to level up faster. So they want to incentivize people to do that. They also are going to be fixing the way the game runs on PC and console. So let's first talk about console. Every Xbox and every PS4 has a CPU and a GPU. So ESO is actually going to take some of the graphics in the game and put them and have them be used by the GPU of the consoles. So that means the CPU won't be being pushed as hard. I don't know if this is going to work or not. I've played around on my PC with GPU and CPU, and it never seems to be as smooth as when I'm running it all on the same processor. But we will see what happens there. I'm happy they're at least making the effort, and they know that we're having some lag problems on Xbox and PlayStation, so hopefully they'll be able to fix it. And then they're also moving, they're also doing a multi-core setup now with PCs. So everyone usually has 5 cores in their PCs, so now it's going to be spread across those 5 cores. They called it offloading. So they're going to try to make the game run better there. So it's nice ESO is actually saying, hey, we see that the community is talking about lag problems in the game. Let's fix that. So hopefully they do. I'll be sure to make a video once Summerset comes out and let you know if my Xbox is running better or running worse because of this. But guys, that is going to wrap it up. PAX was an absolute blast. I didn't get to learn as much about ESO as I want to, but I got to go see a lot of great companies. I actually got to go see the people from Twitch, talk to them for a little bit. I actually got to meet the people from Mixer and Facebook streaming, which was interesting to say the least. And Twitch is going to have to step their game up. Maybe I'll make a video on that. If you want me to make a video on streaming services, please let me know, because I've definitely been around the block a few times now and would be more than happy to share my experience. But overall, PAX was a blast. Thank you so much for the support, guys. As always, I love you to death. Please comment, like, subscribe, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, all that great stuff. I really appreciate the support. And if you guys comment a bunch, maybe I'll make a video responding to some comments, and then we can go from there on other things. But yeah, guys, I will catch you next time. Peace out.